CKSP 600 AM ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਰੇਡੀਓ ਸੁਣ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਔਰ ਮੈਂ ਹਸਮੀਰ ਕੌਸ਼ਲ। ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਹੁਣ ਮਿਊਨਿਸਪਲ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ 2022 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਏ ਹੈ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੇਕਰ ਕਥਿਤ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਚੀਨ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਇੰਟਰਫੇਰੈਂਸ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਜਾਏ, ਇਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਆਰਟੀਕਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਇੱਕ ਬ੍ਰੇਕਿੰਗ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇੱਕ ਐਕਸਕਲੂਸਿਵ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਦ ਗਲੋਬ ਐਂਡ ਮੇਲ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਿਊਰੋ ਚੀਫ ਰੋਬਰਟ ਫਿਫਚੋਵਾ ਔਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟਰੀ ਰਿਪੋਰਟਰ ਸਟੀਵਨ ਚੈਸਨਿਓਰ ਔਰ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਕੋਰਸਪੋਂਡੈਂਟ ਨੇਥਨ ਵੈਂਡਰਕਲਿਪ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਪੂਰੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ 'ਚ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੀਸਿਸ ਦੇ ਆਧਾਰ 'ਤੇ, ਸੀਸਿਸ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਸਪਾਈ ਏਜੰਸੀ ਹੈ, ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਸਿਕਿਉਰਿਟੀ ਐਂਡ ਇੰਟੈਲੀਜੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਨਵਰੀ 10, 2022 ਸੀਸਿਸ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਉਸ ਡੇਟ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਆ ਉਹ ਦੇਖੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਇਹ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਆਈ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਾਲ 2022 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮਿਊਨਿਸਪਲ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੋਏ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਥਿਤ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਚੀਨ ਦੀ ਵੈਨਕੂਵਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਥਿਤ ਕੌਂਸੂਲੇਟ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕਥਿਤ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਇੰਟਰਫੇਰੈਂਸ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ। ਔਰ ਇੰਟਰਫੇਰੈਂਸ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਕਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ ਸੀ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਗਰੂਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਅੱਗੇ ਲਿਆਉਣ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਔਰ ਖ਼ਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਭਾਈਚਾਰਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ, ਵੱਖੋ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਐਥਨੀਸਿਟੀਜ਼ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਲੋਕ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ। ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਮਾਮਲਾ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੁ ਗੰਭੀਰ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਫੈਡਰਲ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਨਿਕਲਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ 2019 ਅਤੇ 2021 ਦੇ ਫੈਡਰਲ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੇਕਰ ਕੋਈ ਇੰਟਰਫੇਰੈਂਸ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ। ਪਰ ਇਹ ਨਵੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਵੈਨਕੂਵਰ ਦੀ ਸਿਟੀ ਕਾਊਂਸਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਂ ਵੈਨਕੂਵਰ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਿਟੀ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੋਏ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੇ ਕਥਿਤ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਚੀਨ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਜਾਂ ਚੀਨ ਦੇ ਕੌਂਸੂਲੇਟ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਐਲੈਜਡ ਇੰਟਰਫੇਰੈਂਸ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਮਾਮਲਾ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੁ ਗੰਭੀਰ ਹੈ। ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਰਿਚਮੰਡ ਸਿਟੀ ਤੋਂ ਕਾਊਂਸਲਰ ਔਰ ਸਾਡੇ BC ਦੇ ਫਾਰਮਰ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਫਾਰ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਸੇਫਟੀ ਐਂਡ ਸੋਲੀਸਿਟਰ ਜਨਰਲ ਔਰ ਫਾਰਮਰ ਚੀਫ ਕਾਂਸਟੇਬਲ ਆਫ ਵੈਸਟ ਵੈਨਕੂਵਰ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਡਿਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟ ਅਤੇ ਫਾਰਮਰ ਸੁਪਰਿੰਟੈਂਡੈਂਟ ਆਫ ਵੈਨਕੂਵਰ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਡਿਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਕੈਸ਼ ਹੀਡ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਗੁੱਡ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਹੀਡ, ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸੋ ਮਚ ਫॉर ਜੁਆਇਨਿੰਗ ਮੀ ਐਟ ਦਿਸ अर्ਲੀ ਆਰ।
Good morning. Always a pleasure. I'm up early, so don't be concerned.
Mr. Heed, it's very concerning right now that on one side our federal government is probing, two probes actually to check if there is any kind of alleged interference by the Beijing in our federal elections. And now a new article just came out, the exclusive story by the Globe and Mail, that the Consulate Journal or the consulate, China's consulate in Vancouver, they have some kind of alleged interference in 2022 municipal elections in Vancouver City. How do you see it, sir?
Well, let me tell you right at the outset here, there's a lot of political games being played here. And if we look at our whole election system, and even in our community, with what goes on here in some of the more densely populated South Asian communities, and really what occurs in India, we've had other governments involved in election, trying to convince election. They've got favorites over in a certain area, a certain country. That's been the way it has been since our political system was derived here in Canada. So let's not be surprised here. There's a lot, and I classify it as a lot of noise going on. Who knows what CSIS is saying, what they're doing, what they're trying to influence, because remember, CSIS, this is the organization going back to the Air India probe that we had here in not sharing information or sharing information in a way that we wouldn't accept. So I really don't have a lot of confidence in what is being said right now because, again, we've got a right to have our favorites of who we want to elect. A lot of the people that are raising this concern right now are the ones that were defeated. I can tell you based on what I believe, what I know, and all of my knowledge to this particular point on our political system, they did not have a major impact in deciding whether it's the federal election, the provincial election, or even the municipal election here in Canada. So again, we're spending a lot of money. We're talking a lot about inquiries, but you have to look at the people that are raising the concerns. The people that are raising the concerns are the people that lost the election. I had, concerns. Everyone knows about my concerns where other people are interfering in my election and all that. This has been an ongoing problem for years. All of a sudden in 2023, it's at the top of the list right now. No, I don't feel this is a significant concern for us to have a public inquiry. Yes, we have to do our due diligence. Yes, we have to have our judicial reviews and various aspects of that. But if we went to a public inquiry here, based on what I know so far, it's another waste of the taxpayer dollar. Just work with the system we have, fix the system we have, but don't start pointing to outside of our country when our country elected who they wanted to. We like to blame this, and I found this out very early on in my research when I was teaching at the university, is that if people don't like what's going on here, for example, the example I use is the drug issue. They blame it on the fact that drug traffickers came from Honduras. Drug traffickers came from outside the country, when in fact, it was our own concern that we actually had.
Well, Mr. Heed, I'm sorry to stop you, but liking or disliking, just put this liking or disliking on another side. But we have a democracy over here. We have our election procedure, which is claimed to be very transparent and very independent as well. But when there is interference from a foreign entity or from any foreign government is concerned, or there are certain news, the news are not published by any political party or any opposition party or any candidate who must have been lost in any of the elections. It's by the news organizations. Don't you find it concerning?
No, I don't find it concerning at all, because if you look at the people that are raising these questions and the news is picking up on it, it's from the people that lost. Look at here in Richmond, in my own community. The major person that's complaining of political interference is Kenny Chu. Look what happened in the municipal election in Vancouver. Look who the people are that are complaining right now. Media has a job to do, and media does that job very well in pointing out the concern. But at the end of the day, we have to make our own opinion on what is going on. I know people here in Canada that when the election is occurring in Punjab or anywhere else in India, they will fly to that country and be involved in that political system there, trying to influence the voters there. Is that political interference? I would, you're coming from another country. You're a citizen of another country. You're coming to, your homeland, and you're trying to convince people on who they should vote for, whether they should vote for Modi or whether they should vote for someone else.
So do you think that this practice? So do you think that this practice is acceptable? That if any foreign government or any consulate or any foreign entity is interfering in any ways in our election procedures or election process?
I'm not saying it's acceptable. I'm just pointing out the fact that it's been going on for the last 100 years.
No, absolutely. You're right. You're pointing out the facts. But do you find it, as you are saying, it's not concern? I mean, you're not very concerning with the issue. So I was feeling like to ask you whether it is acceptable or not, according to your opinion.
No, absolutely not acceptable. But you can't all of a sudden, because you didn't get your way, start to raise the issue when you may have got your way all the other times. That is my concern. And I can tell you, Samir, right at the outset here, are we going to spend millions and millions of dollars on looking into this? And at the end of the day, are we going to change our system? I could tell you right now, no. If you look at the rhetoric in the United States, and I think we're a victim of some of that rhetoric in the United States, is, Dominion, they rigged the machines on the election day. That kind of crap. It sets into our mind here in Canada, and we think that the whole system is broken because of that.
So what should be the right way? Should we just leave everything to the government, to the agencies, or just go with the flow?
No, I think we should have a judicial review. We don't need an inquiry. inquiry is going to cost you multi-millions of dollars, and it's going to be political. We need to have a judicial review to look at all, a rapporteur, whatever you want to call it, to look at this to see what the concerns are and how we can tighten up our current processes to make sure we can avoid any perception or actuality of outside foreign governments interfering in our system. Because the interference by convincing people that live in our country that may be from wherever, China, India, or whatever, trying to vote a certain way. Well, you know what? We have family members that talk to it. I talk to people in the United States, and I can't believe that they would elect someone like they did with Donald Trump. So am I interfering in their election system? I'm voicing my opinion, that's for sure.
All right, Mr. Heed, you give a different aspect to the talk, and I really appreciate your time once again and your contribution. So thank you so much, and have a nice day.
Let me just mention quickly.
Yeah, please.
I'm very passionate about certain things, and I like to call it out the way it is.
Absolutely.
Okay, not the way that someone else is wanting to control the subject matter. You are a very good host because you allow me to do that. Your radio station allows me to express based on my knowledge and my opinion, and I thank you very much for that.
I really appreciate once again your time, sir, and your contribution to the society. Thank you so much.
Thank you.